Good evening from the Channel's newsroom here in London. China has accused protesters who vandalised Hong Kong's parliament of serious illegal actions that trample the rule of law. A group of activists occupied the Legislative Council building for several hours after breaking away from a peaceful protest. They smashed their way into the building and spray-painted slogans in the government chamber, as well as vandalising paintings and artefacts. Hundreds of police then moved in during the early hours of the morning and used tear gas to disperse demonstrators. It follows weeks of mass protests over a controversial extradition bill and comes as tensions between protesters and the government increase on the 22nd anniversary of the handover of power from British to Chinese rule. Hong Kong's chief executive said she strongly condemns the violence.
The second scene that we have seen, which really saddens a lot of people and shocks a lot of people, is the extreme use of violence and vandalism by protesters who stormed into the Legislative Council building over a period of time. So this is something that we should seriously condemn.
While the UK government also criticised those taking part in violence, the Foreign Minister did caution Hong Kong's authorities not to use the protests as a reason to limit people's freedom.
We urge the authorities not to use what happened as a pretext for repression, but rather to understand the root causes of what happened, which is a deep-seated concern by people in Hong Kong that their basic freedoms are under attack.
Pro- and anti-Brexit parties caused a stir with their antics at the European Parliamentary plenary session, the first since May's European election. Brexit Party members who are pushing for the UK's departure from the EU turned their backs on musicians as the bloc's anthem, Ode to Joy, was played. Several MEPs from the UK's Liberal Democrat Party attended the session wearing yellow T-shirts marked with the words "Stop Brexit." Meanwhile, outside the building, thousands of Catalan protesters gathered in front of the Parliament in Strasbourg to demand that their elected leaders be allowed to take their seats after they were blocked from collecting their MEP credentials. It comes as EU leaders reconvened in Brussels for their third consecutive day of talks to try and agree on who should fill key positions within the European Parliament. On Monday, a number of states blocked Socialist Dutchman Frans Timmermans from taking up the highest profile post. Arriving for the meeting, Czech Prime Minister Andrej Babiš told the reporters Timmermans was not the right choice, but the Spanish Prime Minister disagrees.
He has been refused because he has defended principles and European values, because he has defended the treaties, and this is something unacceptable for us. You cannot reject a person because he has defended the treaties and the principles and the European values that we stand for.
The body of a man thought to have been a stowaway who fell from a Kenya Airways flight on its way to Heathrow Airport has been found in a garden in London. London's Metropolitan Police said they were called to a home in Clapham in South London on Sunday. It's thought he fell from the landing gear of the plane. A post-mortem examination is due to be carried out and the man has not yet been identified. Monsoon rains have caused several walls to collapse in India, killing 27 people. Heavy rain brought a wall crashing down on shanties built on a hill slope in a suburb of Mumbai, killing 18 people, while a further 3 people died when a school wall collapsed in the city of Kalyan. It's as a second day of bad weather disrupted rail and air traffic in the financial capital, prompting officials to shut schools and offices. During every monsoon season, which runs from June to September, India experiences fatal incidents of building and wall collapses as rainfall weakens the foundations of poorly built structures. Some of the world's brightest minds in astronomy have gathered at the Chilean Andes ahead of the coming solar eclipse. Coquimbo's La Silla Observatory will host national and foreign scientists travelling to the area to observe the eclipses. Observatories around the world have also supplied specialist equipment to their teams to capture and investigate the phenomena. Scientists will be paying particular attention to a specific moment in the eclipse when the moon blocks the sun's disk, a white light of the outer solar atmosphere is revealed. And finally, a NASA crew capsule has blasted off from a Florida launch pad.
2, 1, ignition.
The mission is to complete a key astronaut safety benchmark ahead of NASA's plan to return humans to the moon by 2024. The test was to ensure astronauts can be fired to safety in the event of a rocket failure. And that's your international news around the world in 5.